Let's start by looking at a basic pullover sweater and get familiar with the components and terms that will be used later in this class. Your average sweater is composed of a back, front, and 2 sleeves, plus a neck trim. These are all knit separately and linked or otherwise joined together. If you're used to working with woven fabric, a sweater is much simpler due to its capability to stretch. The back and front are usually identical except for the neck opening. Both the front and back sleeve are the same shape. Here are the body pieces with the front laid on top of the back. The highest point of the sweater, right where the shoulder connects with the neck opening, is called the high shoulder point, or HSP for short. Below that, at the other end of the shoulder, is the low shoulder point. The distance between these 2 points is the shoulder slope or shoulder drop. I generally keep the angle of the shoulder slope the same no matter the style and length of the shoulder, and that is 1 in 4, meaning you measure out 4 inches from the high shoulder point, and at that point drop down 1 inch. There's your slope. Now we'll look at the front neck drop and back neck drop. I'm just going to add a vertical line right down the center of the garment, also known as the center back and center front. Find the point where the center back and the lowest point of the back neck opening connect. The distance between that point and the high shoulder point gives the back neck drop. Again, this doesn't vary a whole lot unless there is a design element that changes it, and it is usually 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Now we'll do the same thing with the front. This varies a lot depending on the style, but it's usually 3 inches or more. Less than that and your neck opening is going to be binding on the neck and will be uncomfortable to wear. Continuing down the body, we have the underarm point, the top of the rib trim, and the bottom edge of the garment. If there is shaping on the side seam, it might be useful to have a waist point. That's all the verticals. Let's look at the horizontals. Starting with the neck width, this is the space between the 2 high shoulder points. It varies depending on the style, but it is usually not less than 6 inches. If the trim is already attached, we also have the neck opening. The shoulder width is pretty obvious, as is the half chest. The bottom width can be tricky because the rib can distort the measurement. If you know there is no shaping on the side seam, the bottom width will be the same as the half chest. If there is shaping, you will have a smaller or wider measurement here. I'll talk through how to find this when measuring a garment. The sleeve. I'm placing a center line here and usually only want the half width and then double it for calculating a pattern. First we have the top of the sleeve, then the armpit. The distance between these two is called the sleeve head. Sometimes there is no sleeve head at all. Then there is the top of the cuff trim and the cuff edge. The distance between these two is the cuff height. The distance between the top of the cuff and the armpit is the sleeve length to pit, excluding trim. Add the sleeve head and trim and we have the total sleeve length. Width-wise, we have the sleeve pit to pit, the cuff width about 1 inch above the trim, again because the rib can distort the measurement. Sometimes it's useful to have a bicep and elbow if there is a lot of shaping in the sleeve. That should be enough for now. That was a video from our latest class at the Knitting School Online, the garment class. All of the tips and tricks you need to make professional looking machine knit garments all in one place. So to find out more, go to www.theknittingschool.online.